Hello everybody, and today, boy do I have a treat for you. This right here is a 2018 Hawk 250 on-road, off-road dirt bike. Yes, that's right, I said it. This is all 50 states legal, both on-road and off-road. Now, this is a bike I'm going to be selling. I'm going to be selling this for around the $2,100 mark. That's right around what these go for. And this has some cool aftermarket stuff, and it recently just got a really serious tune-up. Now, this motorcycle was purchased by the previous owner who did a few things to it, rode it around a little bit, and then let it sit for years. Then I bought it and completely went through the engine, the transmission, every bolt and everything, and got it roadworthy. Now, you may or may not notice that there is a decent amount of mud on it. And by roadworthy, I mean I literally just got back from riding from one side of New Hampshire to the other side of New Hampshire on this motorcycle. Oh yeah, and back. So I just finished up around a 400-mile trip on this with cargo on the back, going on both road and on trail. And this thing held up beautifully. Didn't lose a single drip of oil, didn't overheat once. I didn't even run out of gas. It was a beautiful ride. So in the front here, you have a beautiful headlight which shines super bright. You have some turn signals, which we're going to talk about in a little bit. I really like this mudguard. I think this is a pretty cool mudguard. Up the front here, you also have an aftermarket front tire that was brand new when I got this bike, so it only has around 400, 500-ish miles on here. And there's a brand new heavy-duty tube inside that tire. And just like the front tire, the back tire was brand new as well. I mean, this thing is gorgeous. You still have your little nubbies right there. So like I said, this bike sat for a long time, so the engine has been completely gone through and dialed in. Starts right up, and it's really peppy and torquey. Now, this bike does still have the stock gearing, which I personally like a lot. It makes it really peppy and torquey and easy to wheelie and get over obstacles. Your chances of getting stuck on this are very, very slim. I was in some deep mud with 60 pounds of cargo on the back rack here, and I didn't even get close to stuck. This thing is really nice. It's got a good seat height as well for almost all users. I'm 6'1", around 200 pounds, holds me just fine, and I believe it's like a 30 or 32 inch high seat, which is super comfortable. And it also has passenger foot pegs, and I've ridden with a passenger on here for quite a few miles, and it's great. Bike shifts fantastic, especially since the freshening up I did throughout the engine. There's no bends, it's never been crashed. It's never went down on either side. The carburetor has been freshly cleaned and gone through with new gaskets. It's perfect. New spark plug. You have a kickstart on this bike as well. It has been freshened up with really nice oil. The exhaust sounds beautiful. I personally like this exhaust a lot because it's loud enough to hear, but quiet enough for no one to really care what you're doing. So like, for instance, this was me on the drive to film this clip right here. Not a single person cared, and if people were around, they probably wouldn't care that much because it really doesn't grab that much attention. It's nice and quiet, but if you did want to make it loud, you could. I personally love this exhaust. I think it's great. The carburetor is tuned beautifully to the exhaust. It's really peppy, and I love it. You have disc brakes, both front and rear, and they grab wonderfully. And there's no issues of any kind with this bike. There's no bends in the bars. There's nothing. I got nothing to point out. Under the seat here, I did want to talk about this. When I got this bike, I did the beeper mod to it. So this right here is your turn signal microchip, and from the factory, these have a beep that happens when you put on the turn signals, and it's really loud and annoying. So I rebuilt the microchip right there and resoldered the normal turn signals because they were separated, so that has been fixed, and it works great. So now you can turn the turn signals without any problems. At the time of recording, this bike has 924 miles on it. Yup, 924. Did I mention that I went from one side of New Hampshire and back on $10 and I'm still on that gas? Without further ado, let's start it up and take it for a rip.